want you guys to think about that as we begin to talk about and break down the sales and the actual jobs that they actually do. So, looking at the picture. Now, you got to look at the picture and you got to read question number 1. Looking at the picture and you got to... So, you got to look at the picture and you got to read number 1. First question, it says, I'm looking at number 1, the 3 bacterial shapes in model 1 are referred to as a coccus, which is a sphere, a spirillum, and a baculus, which is a rod shape. Label the diagrams in model 1 with the correct description. Here are the 3 types of bacteria. Please label them appropriately. Let's see what you can come up with. We're on number 1.
So you working at the table?
Yep, on the paper.
So which one is spirillum?
So which one is the coccus?
The first one.
Why?
Because it's a sphere with a sphere.
Because it's sphere shape, okay? So draw your line.
So you want to just go What you mean? The one that I was in school for last year?
I can go now.
You start 7 you finish.
Okay? So on this paper, you're going to label which one is the coccus, which one is the spirillum, and which one is the baculus, right? So this one is the coccus. So you're going to write coccus right here, right?
All right, what?
Because it's sphere. Now, how do you spell it? How do you find the spelling, guys?
You just look at the letter.
It's right there in the text. It's in number 1. So it's not hard to figure out where it is because it's right there on the paper in number 1. So just spell it. How can you identify which one is the spirillum? Because it has what word is it?
Spiral.
Spiral. Good job. And this one must be what?
Back on.
Right, the back. Okay? So I'm going to show you guys an actual picture of what they actually look like. So this is what it looks like, right? The coccus, right, which is round, right, has that spherical shape. The baculus has that long rod-like shape. And the spirillum, of course, is like this squiggly line, right? It's the spiral, right?
Don't go stuff through your body, the back of your
But you don't want any bacteria.
I see that.
All right, let's go back to it. All right, so now, question number 2 says, somebody read question number 2 for me.
Maya.
I heard you say it again.
What is represented by the small dots found in each of the vaccines?
Okay, what is represented by the small dots? Ribosome. So you're going to write in number 2, ribosome. Who was proactive and went on to number 3?
Maya.
What you getting?
Cell wall.
Cell wall. High five in the sky.
That was a wall.
I'm just saying.
Ribosome from number 1, number 2.
Just look at my paper.
All right. So, yes. So while you guys are working on this, we get 10 minutes of the review in class. So now you can work with a partner for the next 15 minutes independently. You can work by yourself or you can work with a partner to finish model 1.
Oh, never mind.
Okay? So we're working on model 1, and when you're done with model 1,
On the next
raise your hand, and then I'm going to give you what you need to go on to model 2.
All the internal structures are systemically settled in what substance?
Do 5.
Gotta do the picture.
They wrote on the side. You don't got to cut right to the. Oh, that's fine. I can cut it.
You don't have to.
shit, this is not cut.
No, it's not edges.
Come on, we're on camera. All the internal structures are suspended. It's bacteria.
Oh, man. You got the camera.
Sorry, what? Yes.
Oh, it do say that.
Yes, it does.
So it's floating in the phytoplasm.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm still on number 4. I don't know about y'all. First one.
Huh? We're gonna, you don't want one? Okay, let me see, because I'm gonna help you move on to one, two, let's check. Keeping it moving. Awesome. Okay, so you understand that the purpose of the flagellum is like a tail, right? So it's kind of keeping it moving and it allows it for it to move. So if it doesn't, then these must not need to move at all, which you can tell by this one. Yeah, they can't move on their own. And they must not need to move because the flagellum is used to help it to do that move, okay? Right, it's kind of bouncing around like DNA, right? So look at number 7, all right? So we're gonna start with model 2, where we're not comparing bacterial cell like we were here. Now we're going to actually be looking at animal cells and looking at the similarities and the differences, and that's why I put these pictures in front of you, and that's why you started to look at those too, so you can see. So, looking at animal cell, looking at the plant cell, show me what, based on these questions, what are the similarities, what are the differences, okay? So we're moving on to model 2. Is anyone else done with model 1? Okay, I'm done.
Yes, I caught it, but it's like you put I did that.
Awesome. They don't, yeah. So you can assume that by not having a tail that it doesn't move. Awesome. Okay, so now that we've looked at bacteria cells, now we're going to look at animal cells and plant cells. Okay, because when we're talking about back to the objective, we're looking at the 3 different types of cells, what their characteristics are. So one thing that you know automatically is that all these cells have ribosomes, right? But only one of them has a tail. They got 3 different shapes. And so these are characteristics going to help you to know what's what about each one of these. So when we're talking about these, it'll be easier for you to identify them based on their characteristics. So now we're moving on to model 2. You're going to do the very same thing.
That's a vacuum. Is that a vacuum? That looks like a very large vacuum.
It is the one with
To swim, mama.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
That's why you have to
Kind of like
It's free flow and not free flow.
I love a girl who looks like
Why does it have that structure? Why does it have a tail?
Why you keep it cold?
What is the tail used for? Not to flag down stuff.
I don't even know what Come on, you supposed to be my partner.
You got that? Okay. Chris, can you help us out? What is the tail used for? Yes, what's the tail used for?
It's for moving and turning.
For what?
So this tail, as you can see on it, is for moving and turning. Right? It's helping it to move.
You
Does that make sense?
arrows. My partner is not.
Your partner is asking questions because she's not herself. Okay, so if this one has the tail, right, and the other ones don't have the tail, why might they not have the tail now?
They don't move.
There it is.
No one's saying kill.
I'm not even talking about that. Will. I be with the Will.
She tried to swing. She tried to swing that. Boom, she fell off and tried to do it.
I'm playing with me.
I said, move. I said, well, you can't move. I was counting down 5. Still hit me. 4, 3, I'm 2.
She's lying. I tried to swing and I sipped on the pillow and fell over. One has what? A vacuum, that's a print set, the device is over, that's an
We had it already.
I had to send it to you already.
One
No, I
has
mean, you don't have one now.
How you spell the V word?
It's right there. See the line? Say very large. What is it, very large?
The second to last.
You see it?
Oh!
What else is for? It's around there.
One has vacuum.
Let me break it upstairs.
So now you're doing the same thing here, but you use the animal cell and the plant cell.
I promise.
It's that, that day,
Right, one has a what? What that say? One has what money? Oh, one has a license plate.
Alright guys, so let's go over 5 and 6 together.
Yeah.
I think we did number 5, we said, what is the DNA floating around in?
Cytoplasm.
Cytoplasm, right? We're gonna learn the function of a cytoplasm and why it's free floating, okay? Question number 6, what is the structure called? What is the structure called in model 1 for this rod-like structure?
Jelly.
Flagellum, right? So that's the tail-like structure. Why might we have that?
To help it move.
It helps it move. So if the other ones don't have it, we can assume what?
They don't move.
That they don't move, right? Either they don't move or they don't need to move or something related to movement, right? Because we can assume that based on the fact that evolution is going to give you what you need, right? We know that much, right? All right, so animal and plant cells. So as we begin to look at the model between animal and plant cell, which one looks more complex? The animal cell looks more complex, right?
Yes.
So now you're going to do the same thing. We're going to compare and contrast the animal cell to the plant cell. You with me, Saquon? So you're going to answer the question. So you're looking at model 2. List 3 structural differences other than shape. You cannot use shape between the plant cell and the animal cell, okay?
Okay, so now. The cell membrane. Yeah, the cell membranes are different.
So you're going to write those things down. Let me get this.
It is the same thing. It is.
Nucleus or nucleolus. There's two of them.
Cell membrane.
Okay? Other than the shape of it, please tell me some differences between the animal cell.
I put these
I
on
thought you
here.
were trying to jump. I thought you about to other than shape.
The shape of your shape. Okay, things that are only pointing to here, right? So the first one, what you got? So you know you gotta identify which one goes to which, right? So
Oh, can I make a like cardboard?
you can, yep, and make a little T. So if you want to, you can put a little T chart right there on your paper. Animal cell on one side, plant cell on another side, and then answer.
Oh, I know another one. They don't have animal animal. I mean, animal cells have vitamin.
Yeah.
Our living organisms. Did you not know that? It's a lot of they breathe. For the reason they make their own food. Yeah.
Do it start from the bottom all the way up higher. Start from the bottom all the way up.
That's not even that's it's easy. Make strawberry glazed up with
That's no, the first one is
Cell membrane, cell wall. Cell wall here.
But you got it.
Okay, you see it?
No.
I'm not trying to take it, but I have a
Stop my pinky hurt. Break, that's your best friend. Oh, you can go with him too. Cell wall, cell membrane. You can go to work.
Okay, so what three things that the plant cell have that the animal cell does not
The
have?
animal cell has temporary vacuoles.
Okay, so that vacuum, animal cell doesn't have that. What else it has?
Cell membrane is an animal.
Vessels.
Both of them have a cell membrane, but one has what?
A cell wall.
Cell wall.
One
Plants
got
have
a
a cell
vessel.
wall. What you say?
One got a vessel. A vessel. Vessel.
The animal cell has vessels, and the plant cell does not have it.
Temporary vacuum.
Plant cells have chloroplasts.
Chloroplast is what makes them green.
Right.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, I got chloroplast.
Okay?
Cell wall.
The plant cells have cell wall versus the animal cell
And a
does not.
permanent vacuum.
So these are the characteristics that